at the public seminar of Accelerated Impact of CCIAR Climate Research for Africa was Project Technical Vocal Point. Dr. Stephen Yeboah said that it is of importance to talk about climate change through the feasibilities of evidence in climate change in Ghana's farming system that needed to be addressed in order to avoid starvation in Ghana.
Climate change in our farming system and in our cropping system in Ghana. We're talking about drought situations, frequent occurrences of drought. We are talking about longer dry spells within the cropping system. And then we are talking about climate-induced pests and diseases affecting crops and the environment. So all this, the water resources are depleting. So all this, if we put it together, then it has become very urgent that issues of climate change is addressed, especially to improve the livelihood of our small-scale or smallholder farmers.
Do we see
already we are experiencing greater impact of climate change on food production? We are having situations where we are recording lower yields because of drought and because of intermittent drought and because of long dry spells. We are recording a lot of lower yields. When you talk about some of our staples like maize, we have lower yields this year and even that of last year because of short cessation or short rainfall period. So climate change is actually affecting food security in Africa, both crops and livestock. So there is a need for us to address the issues before our people face starvation. If we take cereals alone, maize, if we single out maize alone, we have more than 17% reduction in maize yield due to can be attributed to climate change. You know, the maize production zones is in the transition zone, where from maybe the Meadow Bed Techimai up to the Guinea Savannah zones. And then this is where we are experiencing drastic effect of climate change. Drought is very, very severe. We have longer dry spells. We have early cessation of rainfall, and all this is affecting yields that is obtained at the plot level. So we are talking about incentives to the farmer, apart from us building their capacity to do some of the things that they are not supposed to do. You understand? We also talk about incentives, giving them support to be able to reduce their vulnerability to climate change. Some of the support we talk about, some of the inputs they need, quality seed, because we have developed a lot of drought tolerant or drought resistant crop varieties, and these seeds must be made available to the farmers so that they can withstand the effects of climate change and climate variabilities. So these are policy can look at. So it's obvious, and it may increase because year on we are getting severe conditions of climate change. The situation is becoming more dam, and then many dams that are used for irrigations are drying up, and then the rains are not coming when they are expected to come. So if we are not careful, the situation is going to increase, and then we will have a lot of homes lacking food and what we call starvation, and then the whole country will become food insecure. The effect of that is that we may have to import a lot of grains into the country, and that affects our import bills, which is also bad for our economic growth.
According to the Business Development Manager, Mr. Gordon KOTEY Nikoi said that the aim is to see the best of Ghanaian farmers on how they can be supported through training in all areas across farming industries.
I always say this example that I'm from Accra, and our farmlands in Accra is very. Just say minimum or finish. So the only way for Accra to get food is to get my fellow person up there to produce more. One thing that keeps me going is that if that person produces what is enough for him to eat, remember, he will not be able to sell for people in Accra to get food to eat. So always look at Isoko. What can we do to the one producing over there to bring the food to Accra for all of us to eat? So we look at how can they adapt to what is happening. How will you give them the information as early as possible so that they know and they plan against the hardship that is coming? Normally, what the first thing we do in Isoko is to give every farmer within our enclaves the seasonal forecast. we break it down to their level. How do I say we break down to level? If we tell them this year, for example, what the metropole have given us that we are going to get below normal rainfall, meaning we are not going to get enough rainfall. That's one. The second thing too is that they are telling us that there's going to be more dry spells, meaning if it rains today, it will take more than 14 days before it will rain again. So in this case, what should the farmer do to still make a lot of grains or whatever he's growing, and also sell some? So these are the things that we pick, and then train them on what to do, and then talk to them on what they are supposed to do, and then link them to the input seller dealers that they can get the inputs, and then do what? Get their produce into the market. For reduction, I don't think it's possible now, because we are yet to enter we are now entering our production season. And let's take maize. It will take us about 3 months to get the maize out. Now that they are planting, if we are going to get maize in the system, it's in the next 3 months. The only fresh maize that is coming in now are the lowland areas or some of the irrigation sites which are working. They are producing GMS maize now. But until the new maize comes in, the price will keep on increasing because we keep on consuming.